FC tonight taking on the defending Western Conference champion Phoenix Rising FC. Duke Keith along with Michael Balogun. And Michael, we're in for a treat tonight. Not only do we get to see Phoenix Rising, the defending Western Conference champions, we get to see a field at Southwest University Park that's undergone some changes and then back again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a quick turnaround to get this field and this pitch ready for tonight's match. The grounds crew has done a terrific job. They've had a little bit of help with the retractable pitching mount. However, that's not to take away from the amount of work, the amount of effort that goes into laying down the sod and making sure this field is ready to play tonight.
As for Locomotive FC, they're not. They've got some changes as well on the roster. They welcome in former U.S. men's national teamer Jerome Kiesewetter to the squad. That might happen this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach Mark felt this team needed another boost, an additional boost in the attack. So he went out and got Jerome Kiesewetter, and I think adding him to this roster is going to be terrific. Like you mentioned, he has international experience with the U.S. national team. He's also a player that's played in the Bundesliga, so he comes in with a lot of experience, and I'm excited to see how he does if he does get on the field tonight.
He may well, because the Locomotive are a little banged up coming into this game. We saw some late injuries against Orange County and some other things that have happened during the week just to get into this match.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the injuries in the late game against Orange County with Derek Gebhardt and James Keefe going out. In addition to that, tonight we won't see Brian Rebillon going out with an ankle injury and Andrew Fox. So, however, we've seen them cope with injuries, and with Edson Partida coming in last week and playing a fantastic game. So I'm confident this group is able to take the spot and do well tonight.
That is all coming up for you. It is Locomotive FC versus Phoenix Rising FC as we come your way this evening from El Paso, Texas. It is going to be a good game. It's a challenging game. Phoenix Rising, the defending Western Conference champions. They are long, they are tall. They look like a basketball team walking in tonight.
Yeah, they're definitely a talented group, and I'm sure they're going to come in looking for their first win of the season and feel like tonight it's the night they can get that.
Locomotive FC, Phoenix Rising, next. Can you hear me? Just, yeah, turn that up, maybe. Welcome back to Southwest University Park. Duke Keith, Michael Balogun. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight. First for Phoenix Rising FC, the defending Western Conference champions. Michael?
Yeah, it's a solid lineup. It's a solid group. I think the one player to keep your eye on is number 20, Solomon Asante. He's a USL first teamer from last season. He scored 14 goals and 9 assists, so he's definitely a dangerous player. He's proven that last year, and he's definitely someone to look out for tonight.
As for Locomotive FC, Jerome Kiesewetter is in the starting 11. And we kind of figured this might be the case with some of the injuries, but we will see straight away this national team guy get going. as we take a look at Locomotive FC's starting lineup here in a little bit. And there we see Salgado will be out on the left a little bit. Kiesewetter, though, is the target man up top.
Yeah, it's great to see him starting tonight. He's had about 2 weeks of practice. Not sure how acclimated he is. I'm sure he's somewhat acclimated, but not fully acclimated. So we'll see how long Coach Mark leaves him in there and how effective he can be with the minute he's given tonight.
We are just about ready to start things off. It is unseasonably chilly on this April evening in El Paso, Texas, in the high desert, but we are in for a treat. The team that battled for the USL Championship, losing to Louisville City, which won their second straight USL Championship title, against this brand new Locomotive squad. And the first touch of the day, Jerome Kiesewetter draws a foul. A.J. Cochran, the offender. One of the things about this Phoenix Rising lineup is their physicality. That long ball goes lacking, and it'll be a throw-in for James Kiffey. Again, out and into touch. Solomon Asante challenging. Sticks to that touch line, but it'll bounce nicely for Richie Ryan. Salgado, he draws a crowd in a hurry. Ryan, good work by Nick Ross to kind of keep things out of trouble. And Mishak Jerome starting in the wing. We'll get to that. But some early action here for Locomotive. Ryan will spray that wide for Omar Salgado. Salgado lofting it into the box. Too tall, and it'll be a goal kick for the starting netminder tonight, Zach Lubin.
It's a great start for the Locomotive tonight. It's good to see Jerome Kiesewetter get a couple of touches early on, get into the flow of the game. I think that's going to be very, very important, having not played with this team yet in a game. So it's good to see him get involved very early on in this game.
Phoenix Rising will play the long ball. And they do, and Locomotive FC will let it roll all the way deep. James Kiffey sending it back up that wing. And an interesting bit of shakeup because of the injury situation. Mishak Jerome playing wide on the right wing defensively, and getting his first start, Calvin Resend.
Yeah, I think that's based on what Phoenix is capable of doing in the attack. You've got some quality players in Solomon Asante that we talked about right before the game. You've got Junior Fleming on the left side. Those are definitely capable players. Those are quality players, players that have international experience. So when you have those players playing against you in a really important game, it's important that you have players that you feel that can match up with them. And I think that's the reason for the move for Jerome, Mishak Jerome on the right back.
Junior Flemings, the cross. They want to get it to number 20, Solomon Asante. That delivery, an early challenge, but Logan Ketterick up to it. We'll see a lot of that tonight. Switches out to the right side, and Solomon Asante doing his thing.
Absolutely. Watching the game last week against Fresno, that's one ball that they look to hit quite often, finding Solomon Asante in those 1v1 situations, looking for either get an early service or take a player on and get to the end line. So that's something to look out for. James Kiffey's up for a tough task tonight, but I think he'll do just fine.
Joe Farrell wins the ball back for Phoenix Rising. Trying to keep it, will roll it into the middle for Kevon Lambert. Amadou Dia playing it into space. Ketterer there to snuff out the challenge from Junior Flemings. But early pressure. Mishak Jerome tries to take some of that pressure out. Out to Yuma, playing centrally tonight defensively, and out it goes. That will be a free kick. The foul committed by Phoenix Rising.
You can see Mishak Jerome and Yuma having a little word there. That relationship, that communication, making sure they're cutting off those lanes, those passing lanes, those through balls is going to be really, really important tonight. Both players have not played together in the back line before, so it's going to be really important to see how they gel and how they communicate to make sure they're nullifying the attack of Phoenix Rising tonight.
Junior Fleming's the injured Phoenix Rising player, and he seems to be favoring that right shin, right ankle. He'll have to come off the field as Brennan Hodge Steve Upham, good training staff for Phoenix Rising FC. Taking a look at him. Let's take a look at Locomotive's upcoming schedule on the road next week at Austin Bold FC, their brand new stadium. That's going to be a 2:30 p.m. kick Mountain Time, then back home to end the month versus Reno 1868. Colorado Switchbacks, New Mexico United coming up next month as well. Lots of great action right here in El Paso, Texas, as it appears Flemings is none the worse for wear, but will have to come off the field. After the foul, Locomotive FC will get the restart. Nick Ross from Ishak Jerome. That one's deflected. Played back up by Amadou Dia. And there is Solomon Asante. Ball kind of moved a little bit. Ketterer keeps the safe hands, and now to James Kiffey. Good to see him back in the starting lineup for Locomotive FC.
Yeah, definitely took a nod towards the end of the game against Orange County 2 weeks ago. Looked a little banged up. However, he's recovered and he's doing well, and he's back in the lineup tonight. So it's good to see that.
Phoenix Rising, early pressure trying to get that high press working against Locomotive FC, but Locomotive doing their job, keeping possession #1 in the USL Championship, 84% in terms of completed passes. Good job by Resend. He keeps it in play, and another foul. Kevon Lambert.
Receiver Nick Ross starting off this game in a more central role. He's typically deployed on the right side and does come inside quite a bit. However, he's starting on the inside this game, so it's a position that he's comfortable with. He's played there plenty in the past, so he'll slot in just fine.
Into the middle, Richie Ryan. Nice ball to the playmaker. Good thought by Sebastian Contreras, trying to get it up to Jerome Kiesewetter. It's the thing about forwards, you have to give them service. Up the wing, and Ketterer, a miss. And an easy roll in for the goal, Junior Flemings. Ketterer loses his footing into the seventh minute. Flemings and Phoenix Rising FC on the board.
And that's the threat of Phoenix Rising. Their ability to play direct and in over the top to their pacey wingers. This time it was Junior Fleming on the receiving end of it. Unfortunately, Ketterer slipped and he was able to get in behind and get an easy goal.
In the 7th minute, Junior Flemings, that'll be unassisted. The Jamaican. Giving Rising FC an early lead. Shades of game 1 with that quick Oklahoma City Energy goal. Just unfortunate. You know, Logan Ketterer would love to have that back. But Rising FC, there is a reason they were in the title game last year. Ketterer will play long out of the back. Over the top of Kiesewetter. And that's A.J. Cochran. Possession again for Phoenix. Amadou Dia.
The one thing, speaking to Mark Lowry this week, is he mentioned was just the depth of the Phoenix Rising team, the quality in their team. Even though they lost Didier Drogba, however, they're still a very strong side. They haven't shown too much of that this year with 4 draws. However, they have some quality individual players, and he understands the danger of this team and knowing that it's only a matter of time before they start putting wins together. So hopefully it's not tonight, but right now Locomotives have some work to do to get back in this game.
It is a challenge trying to get something started. Good flick to Kiesewetter from Salgado, his former U.S. under-20 national teammate. Salgado gets a touch to it, but a bit behind him. Phoenix Rising able to get it out of trouble. And there's that man, Solomon Asante, kind of ranging back That's an awkward ball. A.J. Cochran backpedaling. Had to stop, put on the skids before Kiesewetter could challenge him. So Locomotive with a bit of a hole to dig out from. The goal in the 7th minute by Junior Flemings. An absolute gift. You talked about it. Uncharacteristic as Rising FC. 4 points, that's a bit misplayed, but kept in play by Cochran. And back to Zach Lubin. Lubin, the big man, 6'5" from Bozeman, Montana. Yeah, they play soccer in Bozeman, Montana these days. Logan Ketterer with a nice screen from Ishak Jerome. They'll roll it into the Spaniard Yuma. Back to Jerome, the Haitian international. Richie Ryan, the veteran Irishman. Trying to get something working up the middle was Ross. Good spell of possession right here. Calvin Resend tripped up from the back. Amadou Dia gets that ball for Rising. Straight at it, Junior Flemings. Drew the red card against Fresno FC last week by basically showing everyone his taillights. That guy's got speed.
That's something that this team is not lacking in just about every position, especially, as I've said it before, especially in the front three. They definitely have some pace.
Locomotive doing what Locomotive would like to do, and that's keep the ball. Daniel Navarro getting his first start. Nice for Salgado. Played up. Contreras looking to float in across. Kiesewetter almost there. The challenge. Good work by Zach Lubin. But there you see why Jerome Kiesewetter is in this lineup tonight. Flashed out of nowhere. And it's interesting, Locomotive likes to pressure too, but they're a lot more patient with it, aren't they?
Yeah, they pick their moments, pick the right time they want to go, and they go together as a unit. It's not one or two players going individually. All right, they want to go together as a team.
Navarro, 6'1", played at Miami United. Fort Lauderdale Strikers with the NASL. Again, Kiesewetter showing that pace. And Joe Farrell has to whip that one out in a hurry. Asante, good first touch. Jose Aguinaga. Asante. Aguinaga, edge of the area, looking for the shot, deflected by Yuma. Good work to stay in front of Colin Fernandez, but here's Asante again. Adam John up top. Kevon Lambert. Dia. John plays it wide, and offside flag is up. But Locomotive doing well, but having to defend a bit side to side. As we see that dangerous ball played in by Seba Contreras. The early miscue giving Phoenix Rising FC an early lead. Over the top goes Kiesewetter. Doesn't like the call. But what kind of a statement does that make when you have a front office ready to shell out some dough for a veteran of the Bundesliga, a guy who's been capped by his country, and not any country, the United States, to bring a guy like that into El Paso, Texas?
I think for the fans here, it's a good sign. It's a sign that the front office organization is not just looking to survive this first season. They're looking to make some noise and do something positive this first season. So it's not just a season to just show up. No, it's a season to, hey, we want to go out there, we want to make some noise, we want to compete and, you know, possibly get into the playoffs and make a run in the playoffs. So it's good to see. It's definitely a positive sign for the fans in this city.
Kiesewetter with words for Mark Allerton, the referee. I like that word you use, survive. It's not just surviving. That one's long out of the back. Solomon Asante applauding the effort from A.J. Cochran, but a throw in here for El Paso. So often teams will come into something and you're just trying to find traction because everything's new for the front office staff, for the players on the field, for your collective sense as a team. Jack Jerome up to Kiesewetter and a hard foul. A.J. Cochran told to back away. Kiesewetter taking some early abuse.
Getting a nice welcome to the league from A.J. Cochran there. I think that's a second foul on Kiesewetter by A.J. Cochran. So he's letting him know you might have some international caps. You might have played in the Bundesliga, but you're gonna have to earn everything tonight.
That's the thing. I think players coming in from other countries, you talk about the pace. In Phoenix Rising, very much kind of an American-style team. Lots of pace, lots of size and athleticism. As push in the back, says Omar Salgado. But there is a style of play here, and players coming in from other places have to get used to it, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. It's a different style from, you know, I'm sure in the Bundesliga. However, he's a player of quality, so you'll be able to adjust pretty quickly, and that's exactly why he's in the lineup tonight. He's been in town for 2 weeks. He's been training with the team for 2 weeks, and Coach Mark Lowry feels he's capable of starting this game, and that's why he's in the lineup.
Richie Ryan challenging. Paul bounced right to him. He wasn't expecting it. Rolls that one into touch for Phoenix Rising, and there you saw on the restart. Another beautiful sunset. All the clouds dissipating. Sprinkled a little bit. One's knotted back in Navarro. Bring it to Logan Ketterer. Good touch by Mishak Jerome. Yuma. John challenging him. Interesting to note, Adam John, Major League Soccer veteran, 7-year vet with Earthquakes and Crew. He's the guy who sent Atlanta United out of the playoffs with the PK, the penalty, in Atlanta United's first season of Major League Soccer 2 years ago. And a former teammate in Columbus of Logan Ketterer. Well won. Seba Contreras. Contreras floats one in. Trying to get it to Resend on the other side, and a bit too tall.
I like how the Locomotive responded to that first goal. One thing that I've noticed is that Logan Ketterer has received a couple of balls to his feet. He's looked comfortable back there. He's not shaken by the mistake. He understands that's exactly what it is. It's a mistake. Not much he could have done about it. He slipped. However, he's responding back to it. He's calling for the ball. And then you like to see that from your goalkeeper. That confidence is still there. He's not worried about, I slipped, I made a mistake. And he's now shaking back. And no, he's not. He's responded well, and he's looking to help the team in the build-up.
Logan Ketterer, under Mark Lowry, getting an opportunity to be the man in goal. And certainly trying to prove himself. He'd love to get back to Columbus Crew or any other Major League Soccer squad, as would any of these players here. But will be called upon to kind of be that sweeper keeper every once in a while in this Mark Lowry system. Play out of the back, keep possession. Amadou Dia. U.S. international in the youth level. James Kiffey. Ryan, solid ball to Contreras. Forces the throw in. Met by Colin Fernandez. And here is Kiffey. Throw in, it'll go back in for El Paso. Kiffey coming in from Charlotte Independence in the USL, over 100 appearances throughout the USL Championship. Sacramento Republic, Reno 1868, won a championship with Republic a few years back. Pressure, Asante. Navarro and Kiffey, a bit of a mix-up, and a throw-in coming for Phoenix. Switch it. Dia on the left, floats one in. Ketterer. No one near him. With that 7th minute goal looming large, Locomotive FC has got to make some things happen offensively. Though it is good to see the calm nature of it as Ketterer, comfortable with the ball at his feet. Navarro trying to win it back. A solid job advancing it to the halfway line. Mustafa Doumbouya. You talk about Phoenix rising, and Salgado receiving that one. Another foul.
See Phoenix doing a really good job of cutting off passing lanes to the midfielder and Nick Ross and Richie Ryan, really trying to force Daniel Navarro to be the one to carry the ball forward and look to find passes that break lines, and not sure if Daniel Navarro is comfortable doing that. However, he gave the ball up a second ago, so we will see if that's something that Phoenix really forces and emphasizes going forward in this game.
Here is Navarro, and that's tapped away by John, but controlled by Yuma. Navarro will ping it out to Mishak Jerome. So much great service from deep lying positions in the back from Mishak Jerome. Can really drive the ball up the field, and he's more accurate than you think he would be with those long bombs.
Yeah, he's got a quality range of passing. Coach Mark Lowry described him as the best passer he's ever worked with, which is an odd way to describe a defender or a center back at that. However, he's definitely capable of putting the ball wherever he wants, and they look to use him in their build-up quite a bit.
Locomotive wants the foul. James Kiffey with words from Mark Allerton. Let's see if we get a look at that. Sling it to the left, Amadou Dia. Junior Flemings. Good thing to stay in front of him, I think. Dia. Pressure, well won, Seba Contreras. It was his interception as he rolls it into space. Salgado didn't have a right to that lane.
It's a great job, great defensive work there by Farrell, cutting across Omar Salgado and not allowing the lane to run through and get on the end of that pass.
Kevon Lambert. Good job by Calvin Resend. Has to send it to a space with a no-look pass, and nobody in a blue jersey there. A.J. Cochran. Flemings to cross. Mishak Jerome, a little collision with Resend, and it is Phoenix called for the foul. Fleming went in a little too tough on Calvin Resend. Little leg whip at the end.
Mishak Jerome might have gotten away with a push there, where the referee felt Junior Flem was a little out of control and ran into Calvin Resend.
Ryan to Ketterer, who has to scramble a bit for it. Out to Yuma. Wide along that right. Ryan. Locomotive patient. A reminder that Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select, the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Quick restart for Rising FC. They can be comfortable with the lead, but they want their first win of the season. Villa rolling it into space, and Ketterer, along with Yuma, holding Junior Fleming at bay. Ross. Navarro. Kiffy. Plays it into a space. Ross gets a one-touch. Ryan will. Richie Ryan. Up to the middle. Contreras. Trying to spring loose. Kiesewetter calling for it. Contreras will roll it to a spot. But maybe that's just familiarity.
Yeah, that's that little missing piece of chemistry that's not quite there yet. Again, Jerome Kiesevetter's only been training with the team for roughly 2 weeks, so that chemistry is not, that continuity is not there fully there. However, he's a player of a lot of quality, and I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Jerome to Ryan. Nice one-touch ball, but again, to a spot. Nobody was in that spot. Rolled out for a throw by Phoenix. But you pointed it out, no signs of panic at all from Locomotive FC.
They showed it last week with the inclusion of Edson Partida coming on, scoring 2 goals after the injury to Derek Gebhardt. So they're definitely a deep team, a team with a lot of quality.
They'll bring it out to the left, and here's Salgado from Ross. Ross, they left a lot of space open for him. Salgado, the cross behind Kiesewetter. Out it'll go. Deflected just wide. Seba Contreras getting a piece of that. Looked like Joe Farrell.
That's great work on the outside by Omar Salgado, getting towards the end line and looking to whip a ball back in, looking to find Jerome Kiesewetter. Was unfortunate to find him, however, it bounced right to Sebastian Contreras. He hit it first time and just barely missed the back post. Well done by Omar Salgado on the initial cross.
Looked like as it skipped across that Farrell got to touch the replay. Very affirmative that there was no touch of the ball, and a goal kick for Phoenix Rising. Fans, follow El Paso Locomotive FC and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, Major League Soccer, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Yeah, crossing it into the middle. It'll get there. Here's Farrell. Fleming trying to keep control. Ryan does well to unplug the toaster a bit. Jerome. Yuma.
That's well played by the Locomotive.
Well done by a good trio of veterans there in Richie Ryan, Yuma, Mishak Jerome. There's Ketterer. Yuma from Jerome. And back again. Trying to draw Phoenix out for a little space up the way. And here is Kiffy. Using said space for Resend. Contreras. Trying to shake his man. Phoenix Rising does well getting back defensively, don't they? Kiffy. Intercepted away from Contreras by Kevon Lambert. Up to John. Adam John against his old teammate. Tipped just wide by Logan Ketterer, out for a corner. Great responsive save. A hard angle to solve for John, but Logan Ketterer confident.
That's a terrific save by Logan Ketterer. Getting low, down and low real quickly, getting a fingertip onto that shot. Well done by Logan Ketterer.
And you hear they replayed what you just saw on television here to the crowd, and you hear the oohs and the ahs. But it will be the first corner for Phoenix Rising FC. It'll be taken by Colin Fernandez, saying, let's pick up the pace. Ashley Fleming headed clear. All the way back to Zach Lubin. Locomotive FC doing what they do, play with the ball, in possession. Ross, Jerome Yuma. Sees a spot in the middle for Daniel Navarro. To Kiffy. Good switch of the field here. Contreras with some room. Trying to get some more. To Resend, who's come over. Good ball up top to Salgado, challenging for it. And he's going to win it. And he's going to cross it. Kiesewetter up and over the crossbar. Omar Salgado did not give up on the play. Kevon Lambert.
That's great play and great patience, great combination to get the ball forward by the Locomotive. At one point, I saw Adam John just throw his hands up. I was like, what am I doing here? I'm trying to pressure. However, for some reason, they're able to get out of it every time. He looked defeated in that one moment, and that's what the Locomotive are capable of doing to you. They're patient in attack. They wait for the right moments, and they probe, and then they get the ball forward. That's a great job by the Locomotive. Great cross by Omar Salgado. Unfortunate not to get everything on it and get the ball in the back of the net.
Rarely is it going to go as smoothly as you'd like it to go in the training ground, as Contreras will take a shot. He saw Zach Lubin way off his line and decided to lob it. Right over the crossbar it goes. There's John, chased down by the veteran Irishman, Richie Ryan. Touched out by the Scotsman, Nick Ross. Lots of international talent on this Locomotive's lineup. Well won, Mishak Jerome. Good job on Junior Flemings. Restarts this for Locomotive FC. In terms of possession. To Contreras with room. Up the left wing. Seba Contreras a step ahead. Will zip one to a spot. Again, just a little off on the chemistry, isn't it?
Yeah, that timing is still being worked on. However, it is a positive sign for the Locomotive. The amount of opportunities they're creating, the amount of times they're getting forward and able to get servants into the box. I would like to see them get more runners in the box. At the moment, it looks like it's just Jerome Kiesewetter alone in the box by himself. I'd like to see maybe a Nick Ross getting in there, a Calvin Resendez getting into the box, so they have multiple options in there.
You take a look at successful crosses. Phoenix Rising has that stat all over Locomotive FC. It's probably the one area Mark Lowry would love to see his team improve in. Only 9 successful crosses this season, and a success rate hovering around 17%. Phoenix Rising closer to 30 coming into this game. That's lofted in by Asante, but popped over everybody's head. And it's interesting. We haven't heard a lot of number 20, have we?
The possession of the Locomotive does a great job of just killing off any attack that Phoenix could possibly have. They've done a really, really good job of sizing the danger players, the Junior Flemings, the Solomon Asante and the Adam Johns of Phoenix Rising. So well done by Locomotive.
Too tall on that cross, though, and it'll roll into touch for Phoenix. A.J. Cochran with a bit of space. Serves one up into the middle for Fernandez. A hard tackle, and they will get the free kick. Mishak Jerome disagrees, but that ball put in a very dangerous spot. And Mark Allerton makes the call. Says, give me the ball, I've got to mark the area. But good work by the midfielder, Colin Fernandez. Chicago Fire homegrown player, loaned to Louisville City a few seasons back. Has made the rounds a bit in USL Championship, but he has a roster spot. Here's Junior Flemings. Looks like he'll be the one taking this kick. Asante right behind him, though. Locomotive FC sets the wall.
I fully anticipate Solomon Asante to be taking this.
The Ghanaian won the African Super Cup. Indeed he will. Trying to go through the wall, and Richie Ryan right in front of it. Asante with possession back. Fleming crosses over the byline. And they were already over the byline, says the referee's assistant. Manuel Vargas out on that far side from our vantage point. So a goal kick for Logan Ketterer. That has got to be a Save of the Week nominee. Adam John going to the far post. That one was headed to the back of the net. Ketterer with a bit of redemption. You never want to be the guy who slips, but it's happened to probably every player. Stephen Gerrard, most notably for Liverpool a few years back. Dangerous Kiesewetter challenging A.J. Cochran. Contreras. Good pressure from behind right now by Locomotive.
Yeah, you see Coach Marco Larry encouraging the players to continue to press, to push forward. Hopefully get an equalizing goal right before halftime here.
Talking with Ketterer after the Mark Lowry show Tuesday night, he talked about facing his old teammate at Adam John and certainly got the better of him there. Loose ball, Racine trying to get it with the foul called. It's interesting because Allerton perhaps had an opportunity to let advantage go or play advantage, and we'll restart it here. Navarro to Kiffy. You wouldn't think a whole lot of having Yuma as a central defender, especially at only 5'9", but you see they're comfortable playing the ball to him. He has touched the ball a ton in this first half.
I think the one thing they've done very well is just maintain possession of the game. When you maintain possession of when you maintain possession, you don't have to defend. And when you have a player in Yuma who's not a natural center back, when you don't have to defend, then you're never out of position. You're never really being tested. So that's well done by Locomotive, keeping possession of the ball and making sure they use that as their first line of defense.
Good ball from Ketterer to Calvin Racine, who does a solid job and earns the foul. Kevon Lambert, the offending evening party.
One thing I've noticed is how interchangeable Calvin Resende and Nick Ross are. Nick Ross is very comfortable playing on the outside on the right side. And same with Calvin Resende. He's very comfortable coming inside and taking that spot from Nick Ross. So those two have done a really good job sort of going back and forth, one coming out wide, one going inside, and keeping the Phoenix Rising guessing.
Resende, and that will be a foul. Resende draws another one. Keithon Lambert, who gets a word from Mark Allerton. Something to keep in mind for the future is Allerton getting a warning from the referee. No more. And there you have it. Next one could be a yellow card. Jacques Jerome. Contreras. Bounces kindly for Phoenix. Asante, a couple of touches here. Well done by Ross to Salgado. Kiesewetter wants it played to a space. They'll go wide. Contreras. Contreras whips it into a spot. Left it out for a corner. A.J. Cochran on the scene for Phoenix Rising. Contreras.
Most of the match, Jerome Kiesewetter has had A.J. Cochran paying close attention to him, and then that one moment, there was a little bit of space, and he found himself in between the center back. Sebastian Contreras has to do a better job of releasing that ball and playing him into goal a little bit quicker. If he does that, he goes right into goal without any pressure.
Ross to the far post, lofted out by Dia. Trying to get wide is Fleming. Good shirt yank there by James Kiffey. They'll try to reset it. Asante is not going to get there in time. Well played by Contreras to nod it back to Ketterer.
Great recovery by Sebastian Contreras, recognizing the danger of Solomon Asante on the outside of him and heading the ball right back to his goalkeeper.
Here's Ross. Rolled to a spot. Kiesewetter couldn't get loose from A.J. Cochran. Cochran seems to be the man to spy the U.S. Men's International. Out of contract, but has been desiring a move to the United States. Started with VfB Stuttgart. Got his Bundesliga debut in 2015. Such an accomplished player. To have a guy like that loose on the open market and to be able to spend the money to bring him in really says a lot about Locomotive FC. Ryan will be called for the foul here as he takes down Junior Fleming.
Like that was Meshach Jerome getting really tight to Junior Fleming, letting him know it's going to be a long night for you. It looks like he got the ball first. However, the referee felt he went through the back and through the legs of Junior Fleming, so called him for a foul there. But I think Meshach Jerome has done a great job handling the danger of Junior Fleming in this match. Outside of the goal, the misfortune, the slip by Logan Ketterer, Junior Fleming has been pretty silent in this game, and that's a great job by Meshach Jerome and the back line of the Locomotive tonight.
Junior Flemings and Solomon Asante both really haven't been able to touch the ball a whole lot. It will be Asante here. Colin Fernandez is back there, but you would imagine the Ghanaian international will be the man to restart this. He does indeed, to the far post, looking for one of those big 6'5" bodies, to no avail, and that one lifted up and over by Aguinaga.
I'm sure head coach Rick Chance is going to be really upset about that service with the big bodies that they have. They definitely should create a better opportunity than that on set pieces.
Contreras drawing the foul. Really just a wise play by Fernandez. Asante pressures. That'll give him the ball. Solomon Asante in the box. Shot. The parry by Ketterer again. Logan Ketterer comes to pick it up, and Asante wondering how in the world did I not get that by him.
He must have overheard us, said he was silent all game. He said, "I'll show you." But that's a great save by Logan Ketterer. Another big-time save by the man. Again, being mentally tough, forgetting about the one slip, the mistake early in the first half, and making up for it with two big saves. The first one on Adam John, the second one on Solomon Asante. Well done by Logan Ketterer, keeping the Locomotive in this game.
Naga. It's the foul from Bryant, and the restart now for Phoenix Rising as we enter the 45th minute. Fourth official, Jose Hernandez, will be telling us just how much stoppage time we have shortly. Colin Fernandez. 1 minute of stoppage time. It has been a pretty brisk first half. That's knotted in, but lifted out. Good work by John to get ahead to it, but they stay with him pretty well. Yuma outsized by a lot. What's going to be a foul called on Kiesewetter. Takedown of Kievan Lambert. He'll play it safe and roll it all the way back to Zach Lubin. Hasn't really been challenged as Lubin in this first half. That's dangerous. Trying to stay in front of that, doing a good job as Kiffy, and he'll keep the ball. And that is our first half of play. 1-0 Phoenix Rising. Junior Fleming's the easiest goal he'll ever score. Wide open net on the slip by Logan Ketterer. But Ketterer redeeming himself with not one but two quality saves in that first half. Mark Lowry and his squad, though, going to the locker room with work to do. We'll take a break, come back with a look at the first half highlights, the stats, and plenty more as we continue. You're watching Locomotive Soccer. Locomotive FC with their first win of the season.
So it's the best feeling in the world. Whether it's the first game, first win of the season, or second, third, fourth win, every every 3 points is critical. Every win, you get that kind of motion and passion you elicit at the end of the game. So for me, that was just that's how we feel when we win. That's how this team works. You see when we score, how we celebrate. You know, we enjoy winning, and that's what you saw after the OC game.
Mark Lowry, happiness.
You just stick to the plan. You don't get caught up in it, win, lose, or draw. There's a process here. There's a journey here we're on. We're about development every day, learning, getting better, learning new ways of playing, just becoming better as a team. And that's all we're focused on. Yeah, we want to beat Phoenix. That's always the plan. But it's still important that we stay focused on the journey. We don't get too caught up in the moment because we won or because we lost. No, it's a long season. We're going to be in a good position at the end of the season, so it's about focusing on that long-term plan.
Jameson's going to get to the ball. The giveaway, and Bradford Jameson's got the first goal. And San Antonio FC is on the board. On his way. Here's Ryan Sierakowski into the penalty area. Sierakowski! Oh! Leading it forward. Oh, Luke got a piece of that to Rob Dos Santos. Plata. He'll take a shot. And a goal! Joao Plata! Leo's ball. Nice curl. This time headed for the goal!
Afternoon's match. A good ball into Lewis. What a strike! Zico Lewis.
Nice 1-2 there.
Here comes that scissors kick, and Isaac was alive to it.
Long range shot, curling it into the back of the net.
And it's going to be Lewis. He just takes the strike. And Brandon Miller manages to get just a hair on it.
Austin Cole strikes first. Good ball in, John Nottingham!
He's going to give it a crack, deflected away by
Huntley lets it fly, and Juan punches it away.
and it is a goal.
Fleming's in for JJ!
Here's Micheletto. Sends over, beautiful curler! Marco Micheletto. To the right side of the box. Robinson punts back, looking for some help. Deflected there, Jansen from the goal, stopped by Kirk.
Full head of steam. Perusa trying to chip the goalie, and that's exactly what happened.
Dennis. And that one off the crossbar, and Fitzgerald getting a piece of that.
Here's an opportunity. Zion buries it for the Red Wolves.
Advantage for the rest of this game. Endo going right at it, punched out by Herrera. Outstanding effort.
Cox runs over. Second chance, Vega there, back of the net. Near post, headed on into the back of the net.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. 1-0 at the half in favor of Phoenix Rising FC. But we take a look at the Western Conference standings. All important, that 8th position. That's the final playoff spot. And right now, neither of these sides playing here tonight at Southwest University Park in the playoff picture. Tulsa Roughnecks leading things. Portland Timbers right there, though. New Mexico United, they're active tonight as well. But New Mexico United, quite the hot start for an expansion franchise. In the United Soccer League Championship. OKC Energy, after that quick start, they've lost a few. And all the way back down right now out of the playoff picture. Tacoma Defiance right there. Both of these two teams looking for a win. For Locomotive FC, of course, that would be their second. For Phoenix Rising, their first. And that would put them close to the playoff picture. Let's take a look at Eastern Conference scores from around the rest of the league. Ottawa Fury, 2-0 over Loudoun United FC. Red Bulls New York, Red Bulls 2, with a big win in Charlotte over the Independents. Atlanta United 2, with a win over North Carolina FC at home. Pittsburgh Riverhounds 3-1 over Hartford Athletic. Bethlehem Steel, a great historic soccer name, and so great to see that they've renewed that particular franchise 3-1 over Charleston Battery. Tampa Bay Rowdies with a 1-1 tie versus Louisville City. Earlier this year, El Paso Locomotive started up an esports team. That's right. It's a big deal. Manager Edwin Moreno stopped by the office to take on goalkeeper Jermaine Forda, who I think does everything, for a very entertaining head-to-head battle on FIFA 19.
Establishing possession early. Wow. Just like, hey. Dude, he's like abusing it. I'm playing Marks football. Keeping that ball, man. Keeping that ball. No. How's he even doing that? Okay, alright. Hold on. Dude, like, he's doing things that don't even make any sense. You're not just good at like attacking, good defending as well. He's gonna score! Oh, score! No way! Oh, scored! Oh my gosh! Dude, what a finish that is! What a challenge that is! Oh my gosh! How? It's not even possible. That is not even possible. Oh my God.
Locomotive in Orange County, the only two USL teams within these sports teams right now. Let's take a look at USL headlines. St. Joseph's honors their alums, Omar Salgado, right here in El Paso, renaming their gym after the foreign alum, current Locomotive forward. Goals of the week, saves of the week, team of the week. You can check it all out at USLchampionship.com. That's plenty more. We'll get some scores and take a look at the half highlights coming up after this. Julian, are you ready? All right, fans, let's cheer him on. Fans, let's give a round of applause for Julian. Thanks for playing the Casa Flatbed Challenge. Welcome back to Southwest University Park. Phoenix Rising FC 1-0 over Locomotive FC here in El Paso, Texas. Duke Keith Michael Balogun with you as we take a look at some of the first half highlights. There were a few for El Paso Locomotive, though. Unfortunately, one began with kind of a lowlight. Logan Ketterer just a slip on the turf. These things do happen, but Junior Fleming's maybe the easiest goal he'll ever score.
Yeah, unfortunately for Logan Ketterer to slip there. Like you said, Junior Fleming would not score an easier goal all season, probably in his career. He did well to be on the end of that through. However, the Locomotive did do a good job of responding.
His old U.S. international youth teammate, Jerome Kiesewetter, and he'll loft another one in as Salgado continues to do some great work on the left. But here you talked about Solomon Asante, the playmaker. He's only 5'2", but you see his incredible form. They're in tight spaces. What a save again, though, by Ketterer.
He's got quick feet. He's really clean and tidy in tight spaces, and that's the danger of a player like Solomon Asante. He is quiet majority of that first half. However, in that little moment, he popped up and showed what he's capable of doing.
Just squeezed between two defenders like he was running around pylons. But Ketterer up to the task, most importantly from Locomotive FC's perspective. Work to do, though, after that early goal that happened in just the 7th minute of the match, as we are just about ready to start things off with our second half kickoff. A cool evening in El Paso, Texas, here in the high desert, as Locomotive FC trying to get back into this one in front of the home crowd. We are underway for the second half. If you're Rick Shantz, the head coach of Phoenix Rising FC, Logan Ketterer trying to keep that one out of trouble with his old teammate Adam John lurking. If you're Rick Shantz, though, you've got to be a bit frustrated by Locomotive's tactics, but happy with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, it's one of those you're not happy in the way that your team has performed overall. However, you're happy in the fact that you're up 1-0 at half, and it's just making some tweaks, making some adjustments to make sure either you get a second goal and see off this win, or you keep Locomotive from being on the ball as much as they have.
No foul. Nick Ross, solid challenge on Aguinaga as the Spaniard goes to ground, but no whistle from Mark Allerton. So Locomotive with possession back. You saw the high press. Both teams do like to pressure high, but here's Yuma sidestepping it. That's a turnover. Offside position for John on the touch from the middle by Colin Fernandez. And he continues to show a bit of frustration, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's constantly moving around, constantly looking to press. However, the Locomotive are doing a good job of finding that extra, that free player, like you see right there, with Janet Navarro stepping up into almost in the midfield and playing around the pressure of Adam John in the front three of Phoenix Rising.
Junior Fleming's lost a handle on that. Bishak Jerome with the throw-in. Good loft, good holding by Kiesewetter. Hasn't been able to touch the ball. They've kind of starved him of service a bit, but good loft up the left wing side. Salgado, he'll keep after it. Forces the throw in. Mustafa Dumbuya. Forced into making a decision, and now Kiffy will come up to take the throw in. Contreras. All the way around to the right wing from the back. Trying to anyway, couldn't push it any further up that wing. But you continue to see Locomotive just stretch things out. Eighth notch trying to keep that steady drumbeat. They'd love something to cheer. Here's Contreras. Contreras fights through the challenge. Rising player is down. Contreras all the way to the byline, and that's lofted out. It'll be a corner kick.
That's well done by Sebastian Contreras to drive in and get to the end line and look to get a service. He was unfortunate not to get into the box. However, he earns the team a corner kick.
It was Joe Farrell down for Phoenix Rising. He's back up quickly and there to provide some defense for Zach Lubin. It'll be the Irishman, Richie Ryan, on the restart. All the way to the far post, looking for Salgado. It'll come back and lofted up and over Mishak Jerome. That's dangerous for those children up there in the playground. That man can hammer a ball. There's somebody up there in the hill in the GECU green seats displaying that Scottish flag. Somebody from the Ross family maybe in attendance tonight.
Possibly.
Sante, Flemings. Nick Ross doesn't agree with the call, but a little extra shove in the back. Phoenix Rising with the free kick. Aguinaga back with Colin Fernandez. Between 35 and 40 yards out, you wouldn't imagine anybody'd have a go. They'll loft one in. Lots of athleticism over everybody's head. Logan Ketterer on his line, keeps his cool.
Great job there by James Giffey, sealing off Kevon Lambert, making sure he can't get a free header on the ball.
Salgado, the chip to the far post. Doesn't find the intended target. Calvin Resend out there waiting for it. He'll throw it in. Who's up, who's down? Where does your club stand? Find out every Monday in the official USL Championship Power Rankings, only on USLChampionship.com. Here's Asante. Wants to play it a bit with Mustafa Doumbouya. Amadou Dia. I have to go back. And here is Farrell. And back to Doumbouya. As you might expect from a team partially owned by the great Didier Drogba. Lots of players from the African continent, a part of this Rising FC lineup. Flemings wants a foul on Mishak Jerome, doesn't get one. Didier Drogba, the Ivorian, has retired, still part of the ownership, and one of his former clubs, Galatasaray, working a development agreement with Phoenix Rising FC, although perhaps the team at a higher level that most fans would be familiar with and providing most of the talent to this Phoenix Rising team would be LAFC. 5 players on loan from that Major League Soccer squad.
It's great to see the USL and the Phoenix Rising partner up with a club like Galatasaray. Obviously, that agreement being signed and being agreed earlier this month. I think it'll be great for the team, be great for especially for the youth players of Phoenix Rising. The opportunities that will be presented because of the agreement, the partnership will be tremendous.
Salgado tries to shake loose some space for himself. Rising FC, though, solid job of backing El Paso back out of it. Sooner or later, Locomotive will need to put that foot through and get onto the attacking third. Here's Kiesewetter. 1 against 3, and he loses the battle. Good challenge by Ryan. Forces Phoenix Rising to make a play. And Locomotive will get the ball back. Restart though. Yuma. Long ball out of the back. They want Adam John Seba Contreras. Contreras. And it will be a foul. Draws the contact at the edge of the 18. The inevitable who-me look from A.J. Cochran. But here you see in the replay, Contreras. Yeah, Cochran left the foot in just a little too long.
It's a great position for their free kick specialist, Sebastian Contreras. He scored a few of these in preseason. I've seen him taking a few of these in training, and he's more than capable of putting this in the back of the net. It's a great spot. I know him and Mishak Jerome are going to be fighting for it, but I fully anticipate and expect Sebastian Contreras to be taking this one.
Mishak Jerome, I don't think it's far enough out for him to try. He's the guy if you've got something 25 to 30 yards away. But who's to say? Seba Contreras. As they set the wall. The big left foot from the Argentine. With a big opportunity here for El Paso Locomotive FC. It will be Jerome, deflected. And a goal kick.
Caught that cleanly, however, just outside the frame of the goal. I'll say I was surprised at the fact that Mishak Jerome was the one that took that. I fully expected Sebastian Contreras to be taking that free kick.
Well, the low drive, if it had been on target, that would have been dangerous, but it was not. Resend trying to pressure Calvin Resend and Phoenix Rising. We'll have that one again, though, off target of the pass. John looking for some service. Never happens to this point anyway. That'll bounce nicely for Richie Ryan. Kiesewetter. And how much longer will he stay on the pitch? Here's Ross. Resend driving. Top of the area. Lifted out by Phoenix Rising. Dumbuya where he needed to be. And Phoenix trying to counter. Aguinaga. Some room. He'll send it to the feet as Asante. Asante rolls it on the right. The shot is wide from Mustafa Dumbuya.
That's the danger of Phoenix Rising on the break. They've got a lot of pace, not just with the front three, as you can see with Dumbuya coming forward in the outside positions. They've got a lot of pace, and they will look to hit you on the counter if you push numbers forward.
Did just that right there. Solomon Asante, the danger man. Will he shoot? Will he pass? Elects to take the pass to Dumbuya, who perhaps should have done better.
Definitely capable of doing both. Totaling 9 assists last season. I believe he's already on 3 or 4 this year. So he's definitely a player that will put the ball in the back of the net, but also will facilitate and get his teammates involved.
Resend good patience just to wait for the traffic to clear a bit. Now they'll switch it, and Salgado in from the left. Omar Salgado whips one. It's deflected out. Dumbuya, good position again. Aguinaga to Asante. Long cross for John, and that's too long.
Looks like head coach Rick Shantz has made a little bit of a change, and he's tucked in Solomon Asante more centrally. He's not starting out as wide as he did in the first half. He's playing a little more tucked in, almost in between Daniel Navarro and James Kiffey in the attack. So that's something to look out for, see how effective it is, and see what kind of danger and trouble it causes the Locomotives.
Well, already early on in the second half, 2 or 3 quality touches for Solomon Asante.
Yeah, it looks like he's a little bit more involved in this half, which is definitely a positive thing for Phoenix and not so much for the Locomotive.
Contreras rolling it into space. Salgado on the attack. Salgado launched it. 1-0. As we get close to the 59th minute, how long will Mark Lowry let Jerome Kiesewetter be out there? He said maybe 60 minutes Tuesday. You wonder how a 5'9" defensive midfielder playing a bit out of position gets ahead of a 6'3" forward. That's how. Another slip though. Phoenix Rising coming at it. Flemings tipped back for Asante. Fernandez. Roll it to the left. Yeah. Centering. Yuma's there. Lofted out of trouble. But only so far as the edge of the area. Pushed back in. John out of position. Good work by Omar Salgado, along with Daniel Navarro, to get back into position. Another throw in though for Phoenix Rising. A bit of restlessness in the crowd here at Southwest University Park. That's deflected. It will bounce kindly though for Colin Fernandez. The shot up high, up and over the crossbar, turning to fire Kevon Lambert. Over the bar it goes. Get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for El Paso Locomotive, and then click on the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores, plus get reminders on El Paso's next match. Head to ESPN.com now, click the follow for your club. Good work, Salgado. Taken down, the old ball, says the referee. Joe Farrell got that. Locomotive sticking with it. Salgado. Well, it just seemed like they let him take it away.
Looks like there was a little miscommunication there between Omar Salgado and Sebastian Contreras. Looks like Omar Salgado was leaving the ball for Sebastian Contreras. I heard for Sebastian Contreras didn't get the memo, and they both left the ball. And
onside, the other way, and John, it's the offside flag up. This one will not count. Adam John a step ahead of the back line. Dangerous days for Locomotive FC. But the flag is up. And a substitution for Locomotive. Calvin Resend's night is done. First start this season, 62 quality minutes. And Edson Partida will take his place. The man of the match.
And on that last offside, you saw just how quickly Phoenix can get forward, just how dangerous they are on the break and getting forward with numbers. The Locomotive are going to have to do a good job making sure they're sealing things off and they're recovering when they send numbers forward.
Here is Ross. Contreras gets away from him. Tumbuya will leave off for Asante. Now into the middle. Only know where to go for Phoenix Rising. It'll be a throw-in though. Kevon Lambert. A little out of place, trying to make some plays with his feet. Lambert, a lanky 6'3", 165. Yuma elects to go backward. Ketterer has to play it. Good athletic play, or a try anyway, by Partida. Phoenix with the throw-in. Edson Partida, the brace against Orange County FC, giving Locomotive its first win of the season. He is in now. As you would imagine, Mark Lowry wants to try and put his team a bit more in the front foot. Good spin away from trouble by Colin Fernandez. Tries it. Slow roller, easily handled by Logan Ketterer. Ketterer and John, two former Columbus Crew teammates, having a word. Ferreras trying to shake his man, Kiffy. Ferreras pinned in very deep. Navarro will take a crack. And a throw in coming for El Paso. Eighth notch, keeping the atmosphere alive here at Southwest University Park, but Locomotive trying to get the offense clicking. Both teams throwing defensive haymakers at the other. Ferreras, no foul there. Kevon Lambert getting tied up there. Asante. Yeah, looking for John, and John, oh, is going to be whistled for the foul as Yuma. Yuma disagrees. But Allerton had the eyeball on that the entire way through.
Yeah, it looks like the left arm just wrapped around Adam John. That's what the referee saw, and that's why he called the foul.
Well, sometimes when 5'9" takes on 6'3",
Need every advantage you can possibly get.
Junior Flemings looking like he wants to take this free kick. We understand that he may be subbed out shortly. Flemings along with Colin Fernandez back. Dangerous spot for a free kick, especially with those tall frontline players. Flemings will take it and loft it. And exits the game. In the 67th minute, it will be Flemings coming off and Jason Johnson coming on. Junior Flemings, the native of Kingston, Jamaica. Jason Johnson from Happy News, Jamaica. Phoenix Rising looking for some happy news here in El Paso, Texas, trying to earn their first win.
Game is sort of slowed down a little bit in the second half. Possession and the play is sort of even out just a little bit.
John fouled, or fouls, and we've got another sub. Ben Spencer coming on for Phoenix Rising as Rick Shantz. Almost a double substitution in the 68th, and Adam John will come out. So the big man doing some solid work. Ben Spencer, how about being able to replace as a forward 6'3" with 6'5"? Spencer, a native of Albuquerque, near his home turf. Locomotive. Effort off in the corner, no foul though. There's a foul. And a caution issued to Kevon Lambert for the takedown of Richie Ryan.
The referee giving his final warning early on in that first half, telling him the next foul will be a card, and that was the next foul that the referee saw and received the yellow card.
69th minute yellow. Persistent infringement. And you're right, it wasn't an unnecessarily harsh foul. but too many of them for Kevon Lambert to Mark Allerton's liking. Jacques Jerome can certainly send it. Will he take a crack from close to 40 yards out?
As I'm looking at this at the moment, Locomotive only have 4 players in attacking positions. When you're down 1-0, I'd expect you to send more players forward.
Low driver. He didn't miss by much, but he did miss. And Lubin in pretty solid position as well. Fans with the El Chuco chant on restarts from the keeper. They haven't had many of those tonight. Fernandez right in front of him. It's Nick Ross. The game has settled down into a bit of a stalemate. Phoenix Rising FC, the longer this goes, the more they're going to want to protect that 1-0 lead. For Locomotive, they need to move forward. Get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for El Paso Locomotive. Click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Get reminders on El Paso's next match. Go to the ESPN.com app or ESPN.com on your computer and click follow for your club. Also, don't forget USL Championship match of the week on ESPN, ESPN News, ESPN3. This week it's ESPN3 featuring new expansion side Austin Bold hosting last year's Cup runner-up Phoenix Rising. That's Wednesday, April 17th. So right back at it from El Paso, down a little deeper into the heart of Texas for Phoenix right after this.
Yeah, I'm sure that has something to do with some of the substitution that Coach Rick Shantz has already made, taking off Adam John, taking off Junior Flemings. You know, understanding we're up 1-0, we've got another game in 4 days. Can I start resting some of my guys, some of my key guys?
Yuma. Ross and Contreras. Kiffy. Kiffy, low drive. Easily out of trouble.
First time of the game we've seen James Kiffy get forward on the left side. He's one that loves to get forward. However, with the danger of Solomon Asante on his side, he has to be a little bit more cautious and a little bit more reserved than he's used to or that he would like to be.
Good cross. Nobody in blue on the other side. Good work on that byline by Dia to keep it in play and just roll it out for a throw, avoiding the corner kick. Ross. Partida wants it right back from Ryan, but Ryan elects to go to Kiffy. Contreras. Salgado. Low cross on the drive. Kiesewetter was there, just not able to get a touch. Contreras. The shot bounced out, and I think it was off Kiesewetter. Great one by Kiffy, but it rolls into touch for Phoenix Rising, and a throw in coming for the visitors.
That's great play by the Locomotive on the left side with Contreras and Omar Salgado interchanging and looking to whip the ball into the near post. Kiesewetter just missed the ball on that near post run, but it's great play by the Locomotive, really getting a handle on this game in the last couple of minutes here.
That's the thing about forwards. You won't hear anybody called. You'll go whole chunks of time without a forward's name even being mentioned, but all of a sudden there's Jerome Kiesewetter, and here's Omar Salgado. Good work again by Dia, but will give up the corner here just to keep in front of the native El Pasoan.
Omar Sagado having another solid night. Really creating a lot of opportunities for the Locomotive on the left side, really putting Dia under a lot of pressure, making him earn everything, making him think about him every minute of the game.
Ryan to take the corner. All the way to the far post, again knotted out. Contreras bounces over him. Solid work in the back by Joe Farrell. Locomotive will have it again, but time running low for the home side. Partida trying to make something happen. Able to keep possession. Here's Yuma. Kiesewetter with a touch, but it will bounce for Phoenix Rising FC. Great work by Mishak Jerome. Had to come over and play a little bit of central defense again to keep that out of trouble, but he does.
That's well done, cutting out the pass to Jason Johnson from the midfield.
And a substitution coming for Locomotive FC. Daniel Navarro coming off for Josh Castellanos. Castellanos famously broke some ankles against Real Monarchs in Salt Lake City. Between he and Partida, some definite speed. Locomotive trying to juice up the attack here in the 76th minute.
Looks like with the inclusion of Castellanos, the Locomotives have gone to a 3-5-2, pushing Edson Partida up and more centrally as a center forward, and Castellanos coming in on the right side.
So taking a man out of the defense, for all intents and purposes, that suits Phoenix Rising just fine. And here is Ben Spencer to Asante, back into Spencer again. Mishak Jerome, athletic, taking some steam off the ball, puts it straight up in the air. It's the second straight time he's done that. Here's Kiesewetter trying to get loose. Kiesewetter does. Solid defense on Kiesewetter, and Phoenix Rising back with it. That's Kevon Lambert who has the ball. Rolled into space for Asante. Solomon Asante in, and an easy finish for the goal by Ben Spencer. Just like that, Phoenix Rising makes it 2-0 in the 77th.
And that's the danger of Phoenix on the break. And that was always going to be the way they get a second goal in this game. They weren't going to break down the Locomotive. They didn't have enough of the ball in this second half. However, on the break, they've got pace in Solomon Asante and Junior Fleming before he went out, and Jason Johnson and Ben Spencer and Adam Johnson. So they've got loads of pace in their front line, and recognizing that the Locomotive have gone to a 3-back and isolating Solomon Asante on the right side, and see him getting a quality service into Ben Spencer for the second goal.
Spencer has a bit of pace himself, even at 6'5". All he had to do was touch it home on a beautiful dish by Solomon Asante. Usually playmakers wear the number 10. Phoenix's wears the number 20. Half the size, but twice the playmaker, maybe. Mishak Jerome. Give and go to Yuma. And El Paso must press forward. Kiesewetter. "79 minutes in, he's still out there. Certainly Mark Lowry has faith in his new signing. Trying to get something to him. Here's Partida. Some step overs in from the left, whips one in. Good thought. But it'll roll out for the goal kick.
Good idea there by Edson Partida, looking to serve an early ball into the box. However, Kiesewetter, again, that time in that comes in box and not position.
You saw a good shot of Solomon Asante, 5'2", 132 pounds, the Ghanaian. Breaking Locomotive hearts with that second goal, and a beautiful pass to Spencer, who scored it. Spencer gets tangled up. Locomotive trying to restart quickly here. Kiesewetter. Salgado. Salgado. Pull it to the left in Partida. Partida. Low drive. Lofted out for a corner. Again, a good thought by the young man on loan from Toluca. Forces Joe Farrell to make a decision. Richie Ryan will loft that one in to the far post. Phoenix, I think, able to get a head to it. Here's Mishak Jerome. And it will come. Josh Castellanos trying to make something happen on that right. To no avail. Yuma.
Good ball there by Josh Castellanos. However, no one there at the PK spot to put a foot on the opportunity.
Fans follow El Paso Locomotive FC and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Here's Lambert again. The cross. That one's over. Looking for a foul in the box. Nothing coming. Jason Johnson, the other sub. Not able to get there, and a throw in for El Paso. But again, you see Rising FC's danger on the counterattack. Eighth notch, keeping the volume up. But increasingly dire for the home team. Asante trying to loft one in. Right in front of that was James Kiffey.
I think the big difference for Phoenix in this second half has been the amount of times, the amount of touches that Solomon Asante has gotten on the ball. He kind of talked about it towards the end of that first half, how inactive he was, and Coach Rick Shantz has recognized that as well, and found a way to move him centrally and get him on the ball more.
Joshua Castellanos tipped over, wanting a penalty. The challenge coming inside the area, but Mark Allenton having none of it. It'll be a goal kick.
I like the look of the Locomotive with the two big men, Kiesewetter and Omar Salgado, at center forward. However, they're going to need some quality service. They're going to need some quality crosses for them to get their head on it and get a goal and get them back in this game.
Mothra just flew into our press box. You gonna watch the Godzilla movie when it comes out?
Probably not.
Here's Salgado, shakes his way loose from the challenges, out to Partida, left side. Good hard cross up top. It'll bounce for Castellanos. Josh Castellanos, shot, and that's deflected right in front. Colin Fernandez holds his ground. Locomotive trying to get the engine started here in El Paso. Phoenix Rising have thwarted them every step of the way. Mark Lowry. You see the head shakes, trying to come up with something. Locomotive FC just not able to come up with the answers tonight. Lubin. Aguinaga goes back. Fernandez. Jason Johnson trying to work something in. Stick with it. That one's wide. Aguinaga. Head down, put his foot through the ball. Was not able to steer it on frame. Ketterer will restart with a roller to Yuma. Out of the back they come. Salgado providing a good target. Ryan. Partida. Back to Kiffy. And they'll try up the right-hand side. Partida. Crossing the field himself. That one's off target. Good work by Castellanos just to challenge for it. That forces Phoenix to kind of go back a bit, but playing side to side in the middle does not help El Paso. Ryan. Yuma. And Jerome. Jerome, good attempt to get it up to Kiesewetter. Locomotive will win the ball back courtesy of Ryan, and here is Partida. Suseba Contreras. Contreras, does he have some magic? The loft to the far post is already over the byline. Goal kick. No, I take that back. It's deflected. That'll be a corner. The early corner from Contreras, handled by Phoenix Rising. Working on the counter. Here is Asante. Down the wing, Solomon Asante. Ryan does well to stay in front, but here's Asante around, and an easy keep by Ketterer. Quick restart.
Well done by Richie Ryan to just stay in front of Solomon Asante, making it difficult for him to get a good look and a good cross into the box.
And there's a foul. And already at the back pocket is Mark Allerton. Somebody's getting a caution when they stand up. And it looks like it's going to be Colin Fernandez. Partida with words as he trucks up the field after the hard foul. And Colin Fernandez is going to milk this a bit in the 87th minute. Not going to avoid the card, though. As they'll bring on the training staff. And there's the card. Fernandez will have to come off, as there will be a substitution here for Rising FC in the 88th minute now.
Substitution for Phoenix Rising.
So Fernandez will exit for James Musa. Nice try. That is one of the few times Locomotive FC's been able to get anything in on net. Zach Lubin. A shot saved from Seba Contreras.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, Zach Lubin really hasn't had much to do. He hasn't really been tested in this game, and that's the unfortunate part about this game so far for the Locomotive. They've had a good amount of possession. They've gotten a lot of crosses into the box. However, it's none of them as tested. Zach Lubin in the goal.
Kiffy. They'll leave some space for him, but he doesn't want to venture too far ahead with Asante there on that wing. Good work by Salgado. Draws the challenge from Asante, sees his way through. Forced to go back, no one descended to in a blue jersey. Partida. He'll loft a high cross far post, too high. Well headed by Dia, out of trouble. And it rolls for a throw. Mishak Jerome trying to keep it in play, didn't quite work out.
I think the next phase of integrating Jerome Kiesewetter into this group is his movement off the ball. It's very predictable, I would say, right now. He made it easy for AJ Cochran to keep an eye on him and to know where he is at all times. So that movement off the ball is going to be really crucial as he gets more familiar with this group. We saw it similar to Derek Gebhard, similar to Omar Salgado when they're in that position as a number 9. He's going to have to do a good job of moving off of the center backs and really making it difficult for them to track him over the course of a game.
And I would guess if you're unfamiliar, you probably have your list of things that you know you can do. The moves that are just kind of in the back of your head. This is what I do. This is what I do well. And not knowing the offense as well as he does, not knowing necessarily what Mark Lowry wants, that's probably what he's kind of going to right now.
Yeah, and he's showing that he's very comfortable with playing with his back to goal. However, in the style that Coach Mark Lowry likes to play, the forwards, the 9s, need to be dynamic in their movement, need to be able to stretch the defense, need to be able to force the center backs to think a little bit. And today, I don't think he did that. And that's not a knock on him as a player. That's just showing that he's not familiar. He's only been in the group for 2 weeks, so he's not all too familiar with how they want to play and what's expected of him.
There's a foul on Ben Spencer. There are 3 minutes of stoppage time. We're about half of a minute into that. But Locomotive with a tall order, certainly. They have just not been able to break down Phoenix Rising FC defensively much at all tonight. Yuma to Ketterer. And certainly as Locomotive gets healthy again and is able to bring back people like Chiro and Toko and Andrew Fox, Brian Rebellion, I think maybe Locomotive might have missed him most of all tonight.
Yeah,
that will probably help.
With them giving up 2 goals, the one thing you'll notice is they were missing 2 key guys in the back, in Chiro and Toko and Brian Rebellion. However, I think it's the offensive side, the attacking side, that was really lacking in this game. I would venture to say maybe Derek Gebhard was a bigger miss in this lineup in this game. His ability to move off the ball, his pace to stretch defense, I think is really crucial. And Jerome Kiesewetter is capable of doing that. However, he's going to take him some time to get used to it.
Seba Contreras in a dangerous spot. In it'll come. Kiesewetter gets ahead to it, but it's up and over the byline.
I would have loved for him to score on that moment and just turn around and say, "Hey, I can hear you down there."
Hey, Mike. Zach Lubin getting word from Mark Allerton to put that ball back into play. We are close to the end here tonight in El Paso. But that right there was perhaps Kiesewetter's most dangerous moment of the night. Locomotive trying to work something up. Here's Castellanos. Challenging in from the right to Kiesewetter. 1 against 3. Castellanos. Again, just solid defensive presence. Seba Contreras gets a touch, but back it goes. And that is it. 2-0 your final score. Phoenix Rising FC getting its first win of the season. Locomotive FC 1-2-2. Let's go ahead and take our break. When we come back, we'll have a look at some final highlights and stats as we continue here from El Paso, Texas. Your final score, Locomotive 0, Rising FC 2.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Welcome back, everybody, to Locomotive FC in Southwest University Park. The final score, Locomotive FC 0, Phoenix Rising FC 2. Duke Keith along with Michael Balogun as we take a look at things. The players saluting Eighth Notch, who kept the fan momentum up all evening long, but they just never really had anything to cheer for tonight. Phoenix Rising saw to that.
Yeah, it's definitely a disappointing loss. Obviously, number one being the number of injuries that the team had in key positions. However, I think it's one of those where, speaking to the coaching staff, they felt if this game was on Monday, if this game was a few days later, they would be in full strength, and it probably would have gone a little different for them. I think today missing a Derek Gebhardt was a huge loss because of his ability to stretch defense, because of his mobility and his runs up there. It's really crucial. Jerome Kiesewetter is still working his way into the squad. He's still working and learning what the style is like. So it's going to take him some time, and I expect them to continue to improve.
Kiesewetter, obviously, you talked about the movement and still just not being really familiar with things and how they want to work. From Mark Lowry's perspective, that is something that's going to come. We got a few touches on the ball tonight, but played the full 90. I think that might be something right there that's really something, because it was not expected that he'd go the full game tonight.
No, definitely. I can imagine that he'll feel the effects of going the full 90 tomorrow, coming from Germany and now at altitude and only being here 2 weeks. He's definitely not fully fit and ready to go. However, it was good for him to get the full 90, and I'm sure he's going to build on this performance.
You talk about Solomon Asante and perhaps the player of the match there, getting the game-sealing goal to Ben Spencer as Locomotive FC loses 2-0 to Phoenix Rising. The Eighth Notch in full voice, as they will be again here from Southwest University Park. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Don't forget the big watch party next weekend as Locomotive FC battles Austin Bold FC in the capital city of Texas. Another game in Copa Tejas for both of these two expansion teams. 2-0 your final. For Michael, I'm Duke. For our entire crew, thanks for watching. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.